Hey, welcome, Winnifred. We are again on the water cooler here at the Water Cooler Chat Show. It's great to have you. Thank you for being with us. Can you please
Thanks for
just tell us a
having
bit
me.
about yourself? And because we're going to be talking about books, can you please share something about your books?
Thanks for having me. My name is Winnifred Reid, and I'm an educator, a poet, and an author. I have 4 books published on Amazon, Waterstones, and Barnes and Nobles. They are Fimi Jamaica, Land of Wood and Water, Make We Go a Jamaica, Adventures in Beautiful Jamaica, and Adventures in Shenzhen. Now, my first 3 books are about my beloved land of Jamaica. The first one is Fimi Jamaica, Land of Wood and Water, and that's an anthology of 84 poems. And 84 because when it was published, my mother was 84, and it was also the 62nd year of independence in Jamaica. Now, this book has 84 poems all about Jamaica, geography, culture, people, places of attraction, and just about everything concerning Jamaica, written in the form of poems, because I find that poems are quite accessible and easier to read than long narratives. The second book is Adventures in Jamaica, in Beautiful Jamaica, sorry. And this is a story about a Chinese family that visited Jamaica and the many things that were enjoyed by this family. Make We Go, Make We Go a Jamaica has just been published, and this is written by myself and my granddaughter, Nyla, and it is the child version of Fimi Jamaica, but it also includes poems and story. So it's written in 2 genres, really. Now, Adventures in Shenzhen was written when I lived in China, in Shenzhen, and I wanted my students in Jamaica, because at the time I was having a partnership with a colleague in Jamaica. So I wanted the students in Jamaica to know a little about China in an easy, friendly, colorful, and accessible way. So those are my 4 books that have been published for now. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, especially on this last book that you said you did with your granddaughter. Listening to you, I thought about your first book, you said your mom was 84 years old.
Yes.
So so this was a dedication to your mom as well as to Jamaica and Jamaica's 62nd anniversary. So can you tell us a little bit more about your process of writing this book and about the dedication to Jamaica and to your mom?
At that time when I was writing the book, I just thought about, I was living in China then, and I was thinking about Jamaica. I was missing Jamaica because I had not traveled for a while. So I thought, okay, let me just think about my childhood. So it was more like memories. So I was thinking about my childhood growing up in Jamaica, all the things that I enjoyed, what I loved about Jamaica, and what made Jamaica, what not made, makes Jamaica special. So I was reflecting on all of those things while writing the book.
And it was also a dedication to your mom. So what did you have some poems also for your mom in this book?
Well, I was just thinking about all the little things that, you know, we used to enjoy. Like Mama taught me how to play little games. So I have poem about games. I was thinking about the food that Mama used to cook. So there's a section on food. And at the time, I had not seen Mama for a long while as well. And it was close to the period when it was her birthday. So I thought, okay, why not just dedicate it to Mama as well?
Yes, yes. Okay, so it's almost like a memoir, reflections about your growing up, the Jamaica that, your feelings about Jamaica, your country, your childhood, your mom, all of this. That's
Definitely.
very good. So is your mom still alive then? Your mom is still alive now?
Yes, yes. She's right here where I am now.
Oh,
Yes.
she's right with you. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So then you have a spin-off on this book now where you have one with your granddaughter. So now she is talking about Jamaica from her perspective, not from your perspective. So what were some of the similarities and differences that you saw in for both of you in the Jamaica that you are talking about?
Well, the experiences that I had, she wouldn't have had because, you know, Jamaica is so much different now. She will be 8 years old on Tuesday this week.
Mhm.
So the Jamaica that I grew up in is totally different from the one that she is experiencing now. So it was an opportunity for me to tell her a little about the old time days because like she said, oh grandma, why this, why that. She kept asking a lot of whys
Mhm.
when we were talking. So I wanted to show her and to teach her a little about Jamaica, um, from the book that we were writing. And I also wanted to do a bit of teaching as a teacher, but not teaching. So
Inspiring.
yes, so I included the poetry, the rhyming, and some words. So I would say, okay, what can you tell me a word that you think would rhyme with this word? So I was doing the little teaching at the same time while writing the book with her. And what another thing I also wanted to do was to include the English and the little patois. So whereas Fimi Jamaica, Land of Wood and Water, has English, just total English, the younger version, Make We Go to Jamaica, has both English and patois. So there are sections in it where, like the dialogue was partially in patois and English, so it was a combination. Because of course our patois is a very important part of being a Jamaican, and I wanted to bring that out in a children's book, a younger children's book, basically, to get her to know that, okay, we're speaking English, but our patois is very colorful and an important part of our culture.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in that. So when you are writing, because is it in the style like what Miss Lou was doing? And for those who don't know, our patois is the same as what we are calling Creole or some people, because it's now our language. It's not just we say it's just oral language, but it's actually a language. So were you kind of formatted in the way that Miss Lou was doing it? What was your format for writing down patois?
Yes, I was thinking about Miss Lou because I love Miss Lou's poems, and I remember growing up, ring ding with Miss Lou was just everything. You wouldn't miss that on a Saturday. You would be running from wherever you are to watch ring ding with Miss Lou. So yes, I was thinking about Miss Lou, and I was thinking about the how colorful our language is, how interesting it is, and I wanted to intertwine it with the English because when we're speaking quite often, as Jamaicans, we speak our English, but then there are certain little things that we just break out in our patois because that's the best way to express whatever we want to say at that point. So that
Yeah,
was my
code,
thinking.
yeah, we code switch. We say we speak in this one and we switch to the other. So does your granddaughter know about Miss Lou? You know, does she know Miss Lou poems? Do they still have this in schools or now it's a different time?
Her school doesn't have it.
Oh, yeah,
Her school
yeah.
doesn't know about Miss Lou, so it's up to me to teach
The
her
teacher.
about
Uh-huh.
Miss Lou. Yeah.
And was there anything about old, like, Jamaica that she was really interested in? Was there, what kind of questions, was she asking? Was there one specific thing that she showed a lot of interest in?
Yeah, she was interested in the games that I played when I was her age,
Mhm.
and also interested in the food because she loves cooking.
Mhm.
And sometimes we do a little cooking when we're together. So she was mainly interested in the games and the cooking, the food. She wasn't that interested in the people.
Oh, okay, that's good. And so then your two other books now, you have one that you said you wrote while you were in China. And the other one, so you were doing like an exchange with somebody in Jamaica and here in China. Okay, so what was that experience like?
Adventures in Beautiful Jamaica was written during a time when I was experiencing some medical issues, and I I was really reflecting and thinking, wow, there I was in China. I was alone and no family members, and I was thinking, oh, Jamaica is so beautiful. Why did I leave Jamaica? Uh,
Mhm.
so I thought, okay, let me just reflect on everything. And I was also at a school where we were teaching about, it was more like, I was teaching about diversity at the time. And I could not find any book to really explain what Jamaica is like. So I did some PowerPoints about, the what I love about Jamaica most. And after that, I said, oh, why not change this into a book? Why not write a book instead? So I started writing the book, and it was during the same time that I decided to have the cultural exchange with my colleague in Jamaica. And so Adventures in Shenzhen was for the teacher in Jamaica to use with her students, and Adventures in Beautiful Jamaica, sorry, Adventures in Shenzhen was for the teacher to use in Jamaica, and Adventures in Beautiful Jamaica was for me to use with my students. And what happened was that I used it with my students. They enjoyed it, especially the colorful pictures, because I love bright colors, and Jamaica is a colorful island. So my publisher has done an excellent job, with really recreating Jamaica in picture form. So I was able to combine all of that, the words, the pictures, the illustrations, to get my students interested in this country that is so far away from China. And it was quite effective. And some of them even said, oh, I want to go to Jamaica. So I was happy about that.
That's good because I think, as you said, it's sometimes hard for us to put in words what Jamaica is for us or to find appropriate material. So for you to take that idea and to put it into a book, kudos to you. Because I think that is a book that can be given to Jamaicans all over the world to share about what beautiful Jamaica is. And on the other side, for the students in Jamaica, what was the feedback from the teacher in Jamaica about what the students are saying?
Well, as you know, there are many Chinese in Jamaica at present,
Mhm.
but Jamaica, what many Jamaicans know about Chinese is that they are into the restaurants and wholesale and building of roads. So my book really showed the children that there was more to China than these people who have restaurants and wholesales and help to build roads in Jamaica. So I talked about like the technology in Shenzhen because, as we know, Shenzhen is where it is, where technology is concerned, and I wanted to show them that part of China. I also wanted them to realize that not all Chinese look the same. You know, their height, their body structure, the way they speak, there are differences depending on where in China that person is from. So the children they were surprised, basically. And even, you know, I went to Jamaica recently and I was showing people my book and I was telling them about Shenzhen, and they just could not believe it because, as far as they're concerned, all Chinese look the same as the ones that they see in Jamaica every day, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so you mentioned the word diversity, and that is what I think when we are in our part of the world, we are just our minds are kind of closed to what we know, and the people in the other part of the world are closed. But when we can come together and then exchange ideas and see, then we can have that diversity. So on your travels and teaching in different places, how have you seen this diversity? Have you seen a lot of diversity, not so much diversity?
There's a lot of diversity in China, especially when I taught in Beijing. Um, there were teachers from the school I was at in Beijing, there were teachers from more than 20 different countries across the world. So there was diversity, and that school really embraced diversity in every sense of the word, including the curriculum, the activities, and everything that happened in the school. The Chinese students were quite exposed to all these cultures. Um, Here in the UK, yes, there's a lot of diversity because I live in London, and that, well, diversity is embraced by the government, not so much by everyone in England, because right now there's a lot of problems around immigration. But London is a very diverse city. And that's one of the reasons I really like London. And I loved Beijing and also Shenzhen. Shenzhen was quite diverse as well. So there is diversity. Not everyone embraces it, but we're all different. So that will always be the case.
Mhm. As you mentioned that, I remember being in London and going to places like Brixton and finding Jamaican patty shop, hearing people speak patois behind me and stuff and saying, am I in Jamaica? So yeah. And then I hear my Nigerian friend say the same, that she could hear, people speaking her language and it felt like she was home. So I think as when you can find a place where you can go to and hear something about your own culture, it really warms your heart. So, being in China, when you were here alone, how did you find that piece of Jamaica? Because something
Ah,
like far away, how did you find that piece of Jamaica here?
you know what? I found Jamaica in China. even more than in Jamaica. I remember during, the pandemic, the Jamaicans in China were so closely knit. And I didn't feel that when I was in Jamaica, my country. Um, in China, there is what we call there's the WeChat group, and that there are many Jamaican groups in China, but COVID-19 really showed us what Jamaicans are or who Jamaicans are, because when I moved to Shanghai in 2019, sorry, 2018. And at that time, I could not find any Jamaican groups. I remember posting in one group that I heard about, and I said, is there any Jamaicans here? And one person responded that, yes, I'm Jamaican. And she gave me the name of a group. And there were just a few Jamaicans in the group at that time in 2018. However, in 2020, when there was a pandemic, I mean, so many different groups were started, and Jamaicans were very supportive of each other, from supporting on medical issues to financial issues to emotional issues to just being there for someone to say, oh, yes, there is a Jamaican in another city. And what I loved was that we did not know each other. Most of us did not know each other at all. But the conversations we were having, the support that Jamaicans were giving to each other was just extraordinary. It was unbelievable that, people were supporting each other financially without ever meeting that person. People were supporting each other emotionally. I remember one lady got mentally ill, and she was just wandering the streets, I was told. And then, the police some way found a way of putting in a group that there was this black lady wandering the streets. If anyone, knew who she was, etc. She was at the police station. And so many persons went to that station. We found out that it was a Jamaican, and she got a lot of support until she was at the stage where she could return to Jamaica. And persons were getting in touch with the embassy, and everybody just pulled together, worked together to support each other. And recently I was speaking with someone. I said, Jamaicans are the best, regardless of how we are in Jamaica and regardless of what happens in Jamaica. When Jamaicans are overseas, they are supportive of each other. And I even said, even if two Jamaicans just don't cuss with each other, if one needs support straight after, a second after, that person is going to help, because that's who we are as Jamaicans. Another thing I said was that Jamaicans are very patriotic. While I was in China, I did not see, well, I stand corrected, but this is my experience. I did not see any other country where the people would dress in their colors at every opportunity they got, and they would talk about their Jamaica in a positive way. They would be there watching that thing with Bolt. It was the
Sports,
world,
the world championship
the
or the Olympics.
championship.
Yeah.
Right. I remember we Jamaicans came together from all parts of China just to watch it at this restaurant where we had the connection. And everybody was dressed either in the full Jamaican colors or something with Jamaica. So as Jamaicans, I think we are the best. And
Yes.
I love my Jamaica.
And I think too, there are people who also try to bring a taste of Jamaica so we could find, if we wanted to find the spices, because we couldn't go home during COVID, so to find the spices, if you wanted to get something like a bun, Easter bun during for Easter. So somebody was trying to bring stuff in so that we could feel that we were still able to taste a bit of Jamaica and have that Jamaican culture and not be so homesick. So you're right that people bonded together, came together and brought out the best. And I hope that in bad times we will remember that, because sometimes after something bad happens and we move on, we forget. But I hope we will remember how we need to behave and how we need to treat each other. Okay,
Yes.
so you have had these 4 books. What has been the success then of these books? Have you shared them a lot? And do you think it's been marketed? How is the marketing going?
Um, I, well, prior to August, the marketing wasn't going very well.
Mhm.
And I wasn't really getting many sales. However, I visited Jamaica in August and I had an interview on TVJ. And someone in America told me she saw that interview. I'm in the process of applying for a clip of the interview so that I can share it on social media. I also visited a number of shops in Jamaica, and the persons have shown interest. So I just need to get the books to them now. Now, printing cost is extremely high in Jamaica. So that's one hurdle that I'm working on getting over now. Um, in Jamaica, my book is available at Cozy Corner in Kingston. Um, it's also available at Carby's Souvenir Shop in Twin Gates Plaza. And it's in the National Library. It's in the National Library. I've contacted the Ministry of Tourism. I'm waiting for them to get back to me. And I also contacted the airports. And I'm looking forward to hearing from them so that my books can be stocked at the 2 airports. So for now, I did some promotion when I was in Jamaica, and I'm looking forward to bearing the fruits of,
Okay.
of
Okay,
my
get it behind Van Jamaica. Because when I was in the airport, I saw books, about different aspects of Jamaica. So your book would make a good souvenir for people leaving or coming in. So yes, I think it's definitely a place to put it so that people can see it. The other thing you talk about was you said it was we can get it from Waterstone. So can you tell us a bit about Waterstone?
Okay, Waterstones is in the UK.
Mhm.
So in order to get the books from Waterstones, you would have to you order it and they get it for you, and then you get it a couple of days later.
Okay.
The same for Barnes and Nobles.
Barnes and Nobles. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have different formats where we can is it available then online as what do you call it, Kindle book that people can buy it in the same way too?
Yes,
Okay.
it's available in Kindle,
Mhm.
paperback, and hardcover.
Mhm. Okay. All right. So now that we have talked about your book, we want to talk about the lady behind the book. So can you tell us a bit about where in Jamaica you're from and a little bit about your journey from, where you have lived, worked, your career, different parts of it. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, I was born in Kingston, and I moved to Spanish Town when I was 2 years old. And that's where I grew up in the same community in Spanish Town. That's off Walks Road. Um, that was where I spent my summer. because I really wanted to relive some of the childhood experiences. My plan was to, like play the sighting and baseball, etc. But I didn't get a chance to. However, I saw, people I grew up with, and we spoke about the old time days and when we were growing up and what we loved, and how things are different and so on. So I love my Spanish town. I love my little neighborhood. Things have changed, but I saw where, the Jamaica that I experienced, the Jamaican people I experienced in China, my experience of China, I saw that in the little community. And I saw something that I did not see when I was growing up. Um, I I'm not used to the Jamaican money, so I gave a taxi driver a $5,000 for $50,
Mm.
and I also gave him $1,000 for $100. Now, I was quite distraught because basically I paid $7,050 for a taxi
Mm.
ride that was supposed to be $300.
Mm.
Now I was saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? Anyway, my sister said to me, okay, when you wake up in the morning, you just tell somebody and they will find him and you will know who it is, because that man knew me when I was growing up, but he was just being dishonest. But it's okay, it happens.
Mm.
So when I woke up in the morning, I called one of the persons that were, just sitting on the corner when I got out of the taxi, and I told them what happened. And she said, don't worry, Winnie, you will get back your money.
Mm.
And she just made one phone call, and she was told exactly where the man lived. I went there with my son, and he wasn't there, but we left a message. And when I went back and told this girl, she said, don't worry. And by the time I left the house, and by the time, like within about 3 to 4 hours, I got a message on my phone. Winnie, him come yet? So I said, I don't know, I'm not there. But when I was leaving the house, I saw a man that, we grew up together. And he said, oh, what, my Winnie? No worry yourself, you're going to get back your money. A good man. So I was thinking,
Mhm.
how this guy knew about
Mm.
what happened, because he lives like on the next road from
Mm.
where I live. And that was just like early in the morning. How did he know? But anyway, I said, okay. I was just there puzzled. But the evening when I got home, um, the girl said, I called him and I tell him that he should care about the money before 5 o'clock. And he carried it back by 1 o'clock. So no worry.
Don't
And
worry.
that just shows, sorry, don't worry. I was just talking the patois there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's okay.
So that that showed me how caring Jamaicans are.
Yeah. Mm.
So
Mm.
that's my little community that I grew up in, and I love that community. At present, I'm thinking about a project that I can start linked around my books to support the community. Another thing that shows me how caring Jamaicans are is that one person turned on TVJ that morning, because I didn't tell them, you know. I I only told persons in, my big groups.
Mm.
And one person turned on the television and saw me on TVJ and said, wait, no, when did that?
Mm.
And that person told like call everybody and say, watch Winnie on TV, you know?
Mm.
And when I got home the evening, everybody was saying, go on, Winnie, we're proud
Mm.
of you, you know? And well, you're a celebrity, Jamaicans are.
Yeah.
And I felt good because it showed that I had their support,
Mhm.
So that's me growing up in Jamaica. I moved to England to teach when I like 2002, and I was teaching in England for more than 10 years. I taught mainly kindergarten and primary school. Then in 2016, I moved to China, where I spent 8.5 years. Now, my experience in China was bittersweet, but life is bittersweet for most people.
Mm.
Um, but I love China. My experience in China, or even the bitter part of it, was a good experience. I learned a lot about myself, about people, and I gained a lot of different experiences as a teacher because I was able to like teach different curriculum. Originally, I was just used to teaching the British and the Jamaican curriculum, but there I got a chance to teach the American curriculum, the British Columbia, and the Canadian curriculum, along with the blended curriculum where I had to um, combine our overseas curriculum with the expectations of the Chinese Education Bureau. So China was a very good experience. Here in the UK, I'm back now, and back in the primary school. So, my life has taken me from small Jamaica to China, now back in the UK, and I'm just grateful.
As you were talking about it, so which high school did you go to?
Oh, I went to,
Because I know people want to, always the high school is someplace that we keep close to our heart. So which high school did you go to?
I attended Holy Childhood High School.
Holy Child, okay.
Yes, and I think it's the best. Yeah, so I went to Holy Childhood High School, and those days were great. I'm still in a group now with our the girls from a high school because it's an all girls school, and we are planning our 40th our 40th year of leaving Holy Childhood. I mean, yeah,
So
of
have you
leaving
have
our
you been to any other reunion since? Have you been to any of the other reunions?
No, they are usually kept in America, and they are or Jamaica, but they are usually during school time. So, as a teacher, it's so difficult.
Mm.
However, we plan to have our 40th in Jamaica next year.
Mm. So
So,
everybody, yeah.
yeah, so even if I'm working, I'm just, I'm looking forward to being there, to
Yeah.
seeing, all those girls.
Yeah.
And I attended the Michael College
Ah,
to
my
train to
God.
become a teacher in Kingston. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good, good. Right. So your journey has taken you to different countries. You have taught different curriculum. So your predominant career has been as a teacher. And now do you see yourself as an author? Is that your next career?
Yes. Yes. That's my next and that's what I want to do next.
Mhm.
And I want to develop this a lot more. And I'm looking at different ways to develop it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you have any fears then about becoming a writer and publishing your books?
I from I was a little girl, I've always liked writing,
Mhm.
and I was always writing poems every opportunity I got. And I've had little poems I've had poems in books all over the place over the years. But when when I decided to publish, I was thinking, oh, will people buy my book? Will I just be wasting money to, get this book published? But now, after doing it, I feel good because it is something that I've enjoyed doing. I've always liked writing. So the fact that I can do it now and leave a legacy for my grandchildren. I have two grandchildren. Leave a legacy for my grandchildren makes me feel very good. And I'm just thinking about ways that I can monetize this and, to basically enjoy, some money from it and getting people to know about the book and to really enjoy the book as well. Because I like, as a person, I like that whatever I do, I like to know that somebody benefits from it. But so while, yes, I want to make some money from writing, I also want people to enjoy reading these books about Jamaica, enjoying the poems and not just, reading like a story or a narrative the way, we had like Civics for Young Jamaicans or History of Jamaica, but reading about Jamaica in, I would say, maybe a more modern way. you know it's not just the sitting and reading sentences, but enjoying it, enjoying pictures that go along with this book, these books that are written to showcase our history. So yes, I really like being an author, and I'm seeking to develop myself as an author that will have an impact on other people and make Jamaica known not just to Jamaicans, but to the world.
Yeah, I think that's a great goal. So, who else is Winifred? So, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? What are some of your other hobbies? Um, what do you do when you relax? What are some of the things that you enjoy?
What do I do? Okay, I like to go to museums and having a walk in the park. And one thing I miss about China is the museums. There are museums in England, but China has so many. So that's one thing I miss about China. But yes, I love going to the museum. I love just walking and looking at flowers and looking at the pond and just, enjoying nature. I like doing that. I also like window shopping. I like shopping, but I don't shop as much anymore. But I love window shopping.
And I think before you tried your hand also at painting, you were doing some painting classes and things like that. How was that for you?
I love painting too. I've
Mhm.
not done any for the past couple of months because I'm settling in back in the UK. But yes, I love my painting as well. And I've done a lot of painting. Unfortunately, I don't have those with me where I am now, but I have pictures, so it's okay.
Do
Yeah.
you do you think you would put the painting and the poetry together at some point? Put the two art forms together?
I've thought about that because I know someone who does that.
Mhm.
And I've been, yes, I've been looking at my poems and I think, oh, and I've been looking at the illustrations that my illustrator has done. And I'm thinking, okay, which part of that could I do? I can't do figures, right? I
Mhm.
can't do the human form, but I can paint nature. So yes, that's a good idea. You know, I'll try my hand at that as soon as
Yes.
possible.
Or even looking at the picture and then from the picture getting some ideas, some writing to do. So yeah, because both of it, all of it is creativity, our own creativity.
Yes,
And
thank you.
last time when we were talking to you, talked about this thing of you making your smoothies. And that was very, fun and interesting. So I'd like you to tell me a little bit more about kinds of smoothies that you like and what you make.
Okay.
Mhm.
I, as I was telling you before, I can use anything to make smoothie. I I like to say that I'm like a rabbit, so I eat any fruit, any vegetable. So um this morning I made a smoothie with I used strawberry, blueberry, and banana with water to make my smoothie. And I've made green smoothies, so I use my broccoli, lettuce, and anything green in my smoothies. So yeah, it's a good experience and delicious and healthy.
Yes, yes. And now a lot of people are talking about turmeric. Have you used turmeric in any form?
I cook with turmeric. My
Mm.
the seasons that I use are black pepper, turmeric, and I use a garlic, onion. So I try to use natural
Natural.
seasoning. Yes, so the turmeric is really like my curry, and I
Uh,
put turmeric in everything.
uh-huh. So
Everything.
that
I use
means
the turmeric with a little black pepper.
you also enjoy cooking. So what's your favorite thing to cook? Mhm.
I love to cook green banana and fish.
Uh, you mean like steamed fish or fried fish or
Yeah, steamed fish with lots of vegetables. I love okra, so I cook my steamed fish with my okra and my carrot, and I also like um, celery. So I steam my fish with all of my different vegetables. And to be honest, basically whatever vegetable I have when I'm cooking my fish, that's what I use. But I usually try to buy okra. Sometimes, it's not available, but as long as it's available, I buy it. And to be honest, I think my cooking is kind of boring because I have certain things that I like and I cook those. I cook my steamed fish and I cook banana. I like green banana and green banana, sweet potato, and pumpkin. Those are the three things that I like.
and
And
you're able to find green bananas in London?
yes, definitely. A
Uh,
lot. A
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially in Brixton. Yeah.
Okay. So you can get your green banana, your pumpkin and everything there to prepare your food. Yes. No,
Everything Jamaican you can
when
get.
I watch British TV, I know that they have this guy who came up with the reggae sauce. Have you tried this reggae sauce since you've been in England? No.
No.
Because one of the
I've
things that, yeah.
about it. I've heard about it. I heard that it's good, but I've
Okay.
not tried it. I don't know if he has one that is not spicy, but
Uh,
I believe that if I'm eating my food, I should not be
you,
tasting any spice. I need to enjoy my food. I should not be fighting with pepper when I'm eating. I need
you
to
you
just
need to be flavorful, not so spicy.
not
Yeah,
spicy,
I,
right?
I am
Yeah.
the same, but I know some people it's very much spice for them. Yeah.
Yes, especially with the curry goat.
Mm. So what about your pastry? Is there any pastry that you love? Like Jamaican pastry? Not a pastry.
I Not really,
Ah,
because I'm not really eating lots of some sweet stuff.
mhm.
I At one point I would say I was not eating anything sweet at all because of the
Uh,
sugar. I wasn't eating anything sweet. But
mm,
now occasionally I'll taste something sweet. And
Mm-hmm.
when I when I eat anything sweet from Jamaica, it would be like the carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
Um, yeah.
Not the
Or
potato pudding or the no.
no, no. I
No.
used to like potato pudding, but
Mm,
I'm not good at baking.
no.
I had a teacher who just messed my brain up. You know, as teachers, we can
Yes, we have
influence,
that power. Yes,
we
yes.
have that power to, influence people negatively. And
Mm.
in grade 9, I tried my best to bake that cake, and it fell. And she made me feel so embarrassed, like I didn't try. so, so since then, I've not tried
Yeah, try.
baking. I've not tried baking on my own.
So
Yeah.
you don't no Christmas cake, Christmas pudding or anything like that.
No, I've done that with my sister, who is very good at baking, but not on my own.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I should have gotten over that a long time ago, but
But yeah.
I just,
Uh,
I just didn't want to my cake falling again, and then
yeah, some things get into our minds and they stay there. So we have to be careful of what we put into or what we say to people, the positive
yes,
things.
as teachers,
Yeah.
we make and break people's children. A
Hmm.
teacher broke me. Yeah, my cake, my
So
baking
what do
skills.
you see for Winifred then with your teaching, with your writing? What's next for you?
Okay, in terms of my writing, I want to focus on promoting my books for now, especially the ones about Jamaica. So I want to focus on really getting those books out there. I I want to get my books into the Jamaican schools as well. Um, so that's one of my aims. And I in terms of my teaching, I would like to contribute more to the education system in Jamaica. So I'm thinking of ways, thinking of not only thinking, but I've started researching ways of doing that. So those are my two aims at the moment.
Okay. I think as no matter what we do, we always want to contribute. We always want to give back, and especially to our home country. Some of the great things we have garnered here, we want to give it back. So that's good and that's a great blessing. Before we
Thank you.
close, I just want to say that thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for sharing about yourself and your life. And I've learned many great lessons from you. Can you share a little bit about your publisher? Who is the publisher for your books?
Okay. My publisher is Cabrina. She's a Jamaican who lives in Canada. She's excellent. And what I love about her is that, you know, yes, we're in the age of technology, so we know that everybody's using AI now, right? So, but um, she doesn't only use AI, her pictures are very realistic. So I remember her telling me that she studied graphic design. So she's able to combine all her skills in really getting excellent illustrations from a book. And I don't have her I don't have all her details, in my head, but I would be willing to share that
Oh,
because
yeah.
she
Yeah,
is
because since this show, people have been asking me, so where can they find publishers? They have manuscripts and they have stuff, so people can share some of their publishers and publishing tips with them. That's what they would love to know. So she
yeah,
also publishes like nonfiction books, not just picture books.
she publishes everything.
Everything. Okay.
Yeah, when I went to Jamaica, I saw books from other authors that she also published. And yeah, two of them were in picture books. So yes, she publishes everything.
And she's a
It's
Jamaican herself.
she's a Jamaican. Her
Okay.
business is a family business.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
that's good to know. Yes. So
yeah,
yes,
it's a
as we are doing as we are doing our author journey, there are other people who are also writing books, trying to get their books out there. Do you have any word of advice to give to writers who are not yet published?
my advice would be keep going, and where you need help, ask for help. I know, Nadine, you are a mentor where writing, for writers. So my advice would be ask for help. Have other people read what you have written and critique it, and ask them to be honest. Even if it's a friend, a family member, just ask them to be honest with their critique of what you have written. But my advice is just keep going, keep doing it. And I know it is not easy to find those big publishers who will publish our books, but, you know, take your time, put the money together, and find someone. If you don't know how to publish by yourself, like I don't know how to publish on Amazon. I know
Yeah.
some people know.
Mhm.
So I pay my publisher, I pay Cabrina to do
Mhm.
everything, to do
Mhm.
the illustration, the formatting, all of that, and also to publish my books on Amazon. That's where I am in the journey now. Hopefully
Mhm.
one day I will be able to publish on my own. But for now, I can't do it. So I put the money together and I pay someone to do it. So
Mhm.
my advice would be just keep going. And when you get to that point where someone says, wow, okay, we can publish this, publish.
Yes,
Tell other
yes.
people about your book, give away. I mean, most of my books so far, I've given them because I want people to read, give me
Mhm.
feedback, you know, say, oh, I got this book from Winnie, look what is in it.
Mhm.
So it will take some time to really get recognized. I always look at Amazon and I look where, oh, my book is a couple thousand down the line. But that's okay.
Yes, yes.
That's okay. So keep at it. Don't give up. Do your best.
Mhm.
And eventually you will succeed.
Yes, because the author journey is not one day. It's we have to do a little bit of it at a time. And then we don't always see the benefits coming very quickly. So as you said, we keep going and we keep looking for avenues, but it will open doors for us. So I want to thank you so much, Winifred, for coming and sharing with us. You're in the UK. It's what about 11 a.m. for you? I'm in
Yes.
China. It's now 6 p.m. for me. And it was great. We were on the chat show where conversations flow easily. So I want to thank you so much. I want you to continue to listen to the show. And for September, we are really going to be talking to people about their passion projects and how they are going further. So I know that Winifred, your full-time job was a teacher, but you also were able to get into your passion of writing, and it has taken you into different places, different spaces, and this is where you are now. So thank you so much, and we will continue to have conversations. Thank you.
Thank you for your time and thanks for having me. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening.
Okay, bye.
Bye.